Hello again. My name is Shain, VP of Marketing at SmartBug Media and host of SmartBug on Tap. This is a weekly podcast offering short, actionable inbound marketing ideas that you can use right away. On today's episode, we're going to unpack some ideas from one of our directors of inbound strategy here at SmartBug, all around how you can land a quick win to enable your sales team with real-time, highly qualified leads. What we're going to talk through is how you can spoon feed your sales reps or maybe your BDRs with a simple report, like a smart list, of people who have visited your requested demo page, but they never completed that form. It's an easy lift with a high impact. Grab your pencil, grab your notebook. This is going to be a fast, step-by-step walkthrough of exactly what to do. Let's dive in. All right, before we start, just one quick note. This is going to be a how-to step inside of HubSpot, and I'll do my best to bring it up a notch so it's applicable for all of those of you that are maybe using Marketo or Eloqua or Salesforce or some combination of any of the above. But let's be real, at SmartBug, we're a HubSpot team through and through. And then I'm also going to be playing a video while we're going through this. So if you're watching on YouTube, then you're going to be able to see kind of the side-by-side view. But for those of you that are just listening, I guess FYI, we're on YouTube. So if you'd like to check it out there, go for it. But no need to, I'll definitely talk you through everything and make sure that this is helpful for you if you're listening from a podcast standpoint. So as I pull this up, Steven, who was the person that built out this whole workflow, he starts us out on what's called kind of this golden page. And so there's an example of a company's website, the schedule a consultation page, as you can see here. And this page, pretty common. We've got one on our website that's a request a consultation. I know I've seen at many other kind of product companies or other tech companies, you've got the book a demo page. And that golden page is a real critical kind of sales or lead conversion point where you can create some hand raisers, people that are ready to talk to your sales team right away. Now, goal of this whole workflow and what we're going to build out here is we want to see who, when, how many people visited this page, how often they visited the page, but they didn't complete the form. So kind of first up is just to make sure, it needs to be a given that you have tracking code built on the page. And then what we're walking through here on these views is creating some new contact properties. They're going to go on the contact record. It's not a company level property or deal property. Make sure you're creating contact properties. And the first field is creating what's just a request a demo or request a consultation property. And it's a yes, no, a binary field, or the radio select as it's known inside of HubSpot. And that's going to be used for some enrollment and kind of triggers in your workflows or automation and inside your reports. The next field is a number field, and this is going to count how many times did a lead or a prospect visit that page. Now, the name of the field, as we're creating it inside of our CRM here, is request a consultation. So we're staying kind of consistent on that first part. And then it's number of times. So number of times they've hit that page. And the type of field is a number field. Now, the last type of contact property that needs to be created is a date stamp. So similar kind of naming convention where you name it request a consultation, but then this one's more specific to last time visited. And that will be a date picker type of field, or any sort of kind of normalization inside of Marketo or Eloqua or HubSpot that will normalize to a date stamp. Okay, it's just 3 contact properties that you need in order to do this workflow that we're going to build out. So that radio select yes or no, the number of times visited, and then also last time visited, the date picker. Then what you can do is you can build a workflow that sets those properties. So workflow or automation, the flows that you need to build out, but this would be something that's kind of back office data that needs to be cleaned up. And I know inside of my instance of HubSpot, we have things cleaned up into 2 different areas. So we've got our kind of marketing automation, all of our emails that go out in terms of kind of promotions, anything that's received externally, that lives in one area. And then we've got our workflows for back office maintenance, data management, and that's what this type of workflow would be used for. The trigger, the enrollment criteria would be, do they view that page? And so you hit the first criteria is, did they enter that exact URL? And then you also want to set it up so that you can allow people to be re-enrolled, so enable re-enrollment. And then from there, all the steps are going to be to set property values. So that's what we're kind of walking through here, is to set those property values. So the first one is you're going to update the binary field of request a consultation, and it's going to be set to yes. And then the next property that's going to get set is increase number of times in the request a consultation, and you're going to up that value, increase the value or incremental value up by 1. And again, if it's set up as a re-enrollment, so each time somebody comes through, visits that page, that's going to increase the value of that by up to 1. The last step is going to be to set a date stamp. So last time visited as a date of the step, and you can just make this kind of the same date value or time value as when they're going through the workflow. Because it's real time, they're visiting the page right then and there, ideally going right through the workflow right away. So that date stamp, the date itself, would be a good match to what date they're going through the workflow. And then what Stephen did is he thought through it and he said, I'm going to give them a day. So if they have a 1-day delay, maybe they're on that page, and we want to just wait for a day for them to see if they're going to fill out the form. If they do fill out the form, workflow ends there. That's great. Most likely you already have your process built out, and a sales team is aware of the lead that kind of came through as expected from the form on the console or the demo page. But if not, then you want to set up a step for sending an internal notification to the contact owner that, hey, your lead just visited this page, but they didn't fill out the form. Think of this as almost like an abandoned shopping cart. How many of you have, added things to your cart, and then a day or two later, you're receiving emails from that brand telling you, hey, don't forget, you have some items in your cart you might want to check out with. This is kind of the same process for us as B2B marketers, right? Sometimes people just need that little nudge, or this could be, a touch from your AEs or your BDRs that gets them over the hump to kind of convert. And I really like that analogy. You're kind of thinking about what are ways that we can really encourage our leads to come through and convert. Now, what Steven's doing here is he's building out that internal email and adding all the important details so that when you send an internal notification to your account executives or your BDRs and you say, this lead just visited this page, they're getting that lead alert that has all the right details in it. Sometimes Salesforce or HubSpot or even Marketo, they already have those lead alert types of email templates built out, so you can use those templates. But there's also this option inside of HubSpot here where you can customize it. And I find that to be kind of a helpful way of just putting all the right information. So include all the details that you can about that lead as much as you can because they're a known visitor to your site. Now, I recommend adding definitely one more filter onto a workflow like this. So you don't want to send email notifications out to your sales reps for any and everyone that has visited the Contact Us form page and didn't actually submit the form. Because I know it's true for us, we get a lot of looky-loos on that page, and we get people that are seeking a job or trying to sell us services. And I don't need that riffraff to go over to our sales team and start to really kind of muddy up their inbox with all sorts of lead alerts of not quality leads that they should be chasing after. So put the filter that it's a target account that visited that demo page, or an MQL that visited the demo page and didn't convert. And then those are the right leads that you would want to be sending out to your sales team. If you don't have the target account data, as I just kind of mentioned here, like you can use MQLs, but we're using target accounts. So I think that's a really great way to really kind of myopically get focused on what are the right leads that we want to get in front of the sales team. As you get to the kind of the final stages of building out your workflow, setting up that email, you'll want to turn it on, but just kind of keep in mind, you probably don't want to enroll everybody that already matches your enrollment criteria. You don't need that historical data. You're not going to be able to act on it. Who knows when the last time was that they visited that page. And so I would just set it so that it only enrolls people moving forward, and you do some of your kind of internal enablement around, hey, this is a new process or workflow that I built up. And let the sales team know these leads are going to start to come in, and don't really chase after the historical data or the historical leads, at least with the lead alerts that you'd be setting up. Once you got all that going, your very final step will be to build out a dashboard. And this is going to be kind of a pretty quick piece built based on all of the new properties that you created. So you can start to create a report that uses the contact data properties and filter. One of your primary filters for your report is going to be that first property that gets filled out. So is request a consultation or request a demo? Did they visit that page? Is that a yes? If so, then you can kind of fill it out and you can create a really simple and clean report that says, hey, here's everybody that has visited that page. And it now becomes a really useful, almost sales manager tool where they can look at a full report and say, here's this week's leads that are, matched to your target account, assigned to you, visited the page, but didn't fill it out. These would be some really good leads to now chase after. It's a really easy win for your clients and really kind of quick way to get all set up and make sure that your sales team has the best leads in front of them in order to really kind of bring in some new revenue and new business for you. All right. So that's all I got. There we have it. In about 10 minutes or so, we just ran through a quick win for your sales team. You saw it was all real time. We didn't fast forward as these reports were getting built out in HubSpot. So it's possible to do exactly what we talked about. Might take you, Steven's a wizard. He kind of moves through it really quickly. So, buffer in about 10, 15 minutes or so. But I think this is a great way to really enable your sales team and get them going with their next set of leads that they should be chasing after. Okay. What other ideas do you have in terms of optimizing your inbound marketing engine? I'd love to hear about them. Email me at marketing@smartbugmedia.com or tweet me at smartbugmedia. Thanks so much for joining.